Hello and welcome to Evangelion 3's Days.
What?
I'm Jim.
I'm Sam, and I'm also very confused.
No, this is JOKAKAKA of AvaCast. We were watching Evangelion. I've seen it. My name's Jim.
I'm Sam, and I haven't. So is this gonna be a Thursday thing?
I said 3's Days, so
that could be anything.
I don't know when these are coming out.
That could be a Tuesday.
For full disclosure, we have recorded all of these, and none have gone out yet.
Yes.
None have been released. So we're in a very funny area with this.
Because I'm trying to think, like, what other we had Attack on Titan released on what? Like
Titan Tuesday.
Titan Tuesday.
Titan Tuesday.
And then Jujutsu Kaisen was like.
Jujutsu was that Fridays?
Maybe,
I can't remember if that was like a specific. I'm sure I had a day.
Yeah.
It might have also been Tuesday.
Can't be like JoJoing coming out roughly around the 19th.
Yeah. All right, back on track. We are an Evangelion podcast, as we've gone over who's seen
in this series.
Yes. So we watched episodes 19 and 20 of the original OG. Hold on, wait.
The Shinji going through shit arc again.
Yeah, so these episodes are A Man's Battle and Of the Shape of Hearts and Humans.
Mm-hmm.
Also known as Weaving a Story 2 Oral Stage.
Okay.
Which I thought that was funny. But these are the ones with your boy Zeruel. Zeruel,
that's the angel.
13th angel, I believe. The 14th. We're at the 14th angel.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're at the 14th angel, Zeruel,
okay.
Who's probably one of the strongest motherfuckers.
Most confident.
He almost gets the job done, but...
Yeah. He takes out two and a half of them all. He basically defeats them all, and it was for bullshit to happen, he probably would have won.
For whatever reason, this is one of the more memorable angels to me, like the fight-wise. The way that it starts in the Geo front, like, he just... Like, we're not even talking about the episode yet, but, like, the way that he fights them both, like, in the Geo front.
It's very similar to the first one, the first angel we Shinji fights. But instead of, like, being, like, like a kaiju version, it's, like, a flying torso.
Yeah. And then Shinji also fights him, like, in Nerve, and then launches out of Nerve. Like, there's a lot of cool changes. It's a really great fight.
Yes.
But yeah, so just, like, go back to the beginning.
It basically picks up, like, the aftermath of, like, the last episode when they put the dummy system on, and...
It's, like, directly after. Like, Shinji's
back at the HQ and just refuses to get out.
He has, like, a minute and 20 seconds or something, and he's standing right on top of the nerve pyramid, and he says, like, I can destroy, like, half the base with all this. Like, Shinji's so betrayed by Gendo he was put in this position that had to kill Toji.
He's like, I know you're there. Like, you say something, you little bitch.
Yeah, this is a Shinji that we have not seen. Shinji's, like, totally mask off. He's been Joker-fied.
This is a supervillain origin.
Thoroughly red-pilled Shinji.
I'm going to kill them all.
And
kill them all, Peter.
He literally is, like, ready to destroy Nerve HQ, and then Gendo is like, turn the LCL pressure to max.
Just knock him out.
And it literally, like, fries Shinji's whole body like an egg. He gets, like, cooked like an egg, like a soft-boiled egg. But he wakes up. Him and Toji are actually fine, even though Toji seemed dead.
Well, they had him dragged out of there, so I think
they said Toji would be fine. I want to bring up.
Yes.
So the Evangelion manga series.
Okay, I've seen that at, like, Barnes and Noble. Is it a retelling or is it actually a different telling? Like,
it does branch off, from what I know. I haven't actually read the whole thing.
Different from both the rebuilds and the series. Okay.
So it actually predates the rebuilds, because I think it started coming out, like, when the series was airing, but it took forever. It took a very long time for it to finally release. I think it finished in, like, 2015.
It's not written by Anno, is it?
No. It's written by some other... creator. I don't know who their name is, but one of the big changes in that is that Toji dies.
Okay.
Toji does actually die in this.
Okay.
Which I think
is better.
I think it makes more sense that he would die. It's weird that he's so okay.
It's weird because, like, I don't know what other point he's going to have other than, like, I guess the class rep gets something maybe more with that, but, like, his purpose is done. There's no Ava for him to pilot, like, obviously. Like, what point does he have now? Like, Shinji's already set off because of everything. Like, having him be alive, like, maybe only to calm Shinji down, maybe? I don't know.
In terms from, like, I like to look at it in terms of, like, how does the author view their own characters? Like, how do the creators of the series look at them? I think about how Araki famously couldn't bring himself to use Fugo as a villain in part 5 and, like, the second half, because to him it was too much of a betrayal. So I think that maybe Anno has like a really strong connection to the characters, and maybe killing off Toji was too much.
I'm like, also could have just been like, maybe that as an excuse to have everybody hate shit. Cause maybe anybody that saw Shinji kill, because everybody kind of knew that Toji was a pilot. So maybe
except Shinji,
yeah. And so everybody seeing Shinji's like robot tear him apart and everything, like actually hear him die, like would probably make everybody hate Shinji. And Shinji, last thing he needs is more.
It would add to the guild, yeah.
Yeah, and maybe set off Shinji to actually become the Joker.
Actually, that is kind of a good point, because it frames it in a way where Shinji's allowed to be 100% mad at Gendo, rather than having like this weird guilt about murdering his friend, which he knows he doesn't do.
And making that like Gendo has made everybody hate, like any friends that he made now just hate him.
Yeah.
Like, there's no one likes him, like not even his co-pilot. Ray is probably the only person that likes him.
Yeah,
and he doesn't probably see of her liking him at all. But
so
that's so interesting though. So
yeah, I'd like to read the manga.
I would love to hear the weird changes of that manga.
Yeah, I know that. So I don't know if you've picked up on it, but like the whole show is like summertime. It's always set in the summer. That's like a result.
Pure sun, cicadas.
Cicadas.
That's
like a result of like the climate change that happened from the third impact. Like it destroyed the whole, like all of Antarctica, so it basically fucked with the Earth's seasons.
Yeah.
But in the manga, I know that it like ends in wintertime, because I've seen like the volume cover, so I don't know how far the changes go, but I would like to read it one day. It's definitely on my bucket list.
Just to have art or figures of, here's Ray and Asuka in winter jackets with a snowboard in hand.
They don't need the excuse.
They need merchandising.
They would just do it anyway. But so, sorry, it got my total train of thought got lost.
You're good. Basically, Shinji
thinking about like the merchandising of Eva, like went my brain down like a whole different.
Taji wakes up. Class rep is there.
Wait, we're missing one really, really, really important scene. So. There's a whole scene where Asuka and Ray kind of talk to each other, and we see the rare shirtless Ray.
Shirtless Ray.
Sorry, the rare.
That's second episode.
The rare sleeveless Ray, where she has like the sleeve parts are removed from her plug suit.
Yeah,
because they have like bandages on arms.
Her usual. So like Asuka jobbed. So like. Yeah, so basically in that fight, like Asuka like got off screened. She got a cheek bandage from being off screen, and Ray got her typical like eye bandage up her eyes and her arm.
Ray suffered a huge hurt though, because they like detached her arm when her brain was still connected to it.
Yeah, so. as standard, but yeah, so they kind of get a checkup on everybody.
So the reason why they're talking is like Asuka's like, oh, he's definitely not, Shinji's definitely not coming back, like he fucked up too bad, and then Ray's like, whatever, like I don't like talking to you.
Leave me alone. I hate Red.
I hate Red. I hate the pilot of Unit 02.
I mean, most people do. You meet her once, you would hate her.
But then there's a conversation between...
Pilots hate her.
Pilots hate her. We see they're kind of back to that train. Like, remember when Shinji talked to like little baby Shinji on the train?
The mental trauma train.
Yes. So Toji is on the train and he looks over.
It seems like he's also like on, maybe he's on like another car.
Yeah, he's in a car. He's in a car ahead of them.
Yes.
But he looks over and he sees Shinji and Ray having a conversation.
I wonder what they're talking about.
And then we basically they talk about actually I forget if this is what happens later, but I think they talk about like the Gendo thing, because like
that's the hot topic of those conversations about like hating your father. And...
every time Shinji and Ray talk, it's normally about Gendo.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting that Toji is kind of part of this like shared hallucination. This like
when you share a hospital bed next to each other, kind of you're in the same realm, I guess.
It makes me think about like the kind of connections, like the mental connections that would happen between like other Eva pilots, because he is an Eva pilot. He was able to, I mean, like sync for a second with his Eva.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's interesting. This is like the only time we've seen this so far. Like every other time, it's been just one character experiencing like a psychotic break, but this time Toji's like, Herm, what's happening in that area of the cart?
And like I guess he doesn't. I'm not sure how much of the situation he knows about his mech kind of getting, I guess, hacked into.
Yeah, it's not really clear.
Or how much he was aware of it.
Presumably, they would give him the bare bones of it.
Because he was knocked out when he gets crushed, but we don't know like he was knocked out beforehand. And because maybe he was limp and like not reacting to his swap, probably why he survived so much. Like,
yeah,
he gets off pretty easily, I guess. So far, what we've seen so far.
Yeah, it's pretty vague if he even like is hurt.
but
so yeah, that's he ends up sleeping for 3 days. Class rep visits him. They have a cute little moment.
They say, to tell my sister I'm okay. I mean, I'm not sure we'll ever see his little sister, or just gonna be. Just don't have to worry about it. She's in the hospital. Don't worry.
Yeah, just don't forget about her. So Shinji is in prison. Shinji's literally in the brig. Shinji's in gay baby jail.
He's in the brig. They take him to see his dad. Even 3 like layers of handcuffs. I'm like, there's no way Shinji could break out of a single pair of handcuffs or like the Chinese finger handcuffs. There's no way Shinji can figure that out.
And Shinji's like a fucking badass now. He's so like. Having been put through that situation of having to kill Toji totally changed his outlook.
He's like, I'm not gonna pilot the Ava anymore. So you just gotta run away, and like, yep, and there's peace.
And he's like, I consider you a failure. He's like, sure. He's like, I don't want to see you again. Shinji's like, I don't also want to ever see you again.
I love that.
It's such a great moment where Shinji's literally just like meeting Gendo on his own level.
The Chad Shinji, versus the virgin.
Virgin Shinji.
The virgin. I want you to be the good job, Shinji.
But what else happens? So
he's gonna be like moving out essentially of the apartment. He's gonna move back with his teacher that he lived with.
Yeah, so I think I mentioned it last episode. Yeah. Not very clear. This might be the first time it's actually mentioned explicitly. But yeah, Shinji just lived with his teacher, so it's saying like he's leaving Tokyo 3. Yeah. That's kind of the big thing.
But he's like sitting in his bed, kind of sulking. He gets the call from what's Kensuke. Basically him being jealous, essentially, of not being an Ava pilot, and then it does the funny thing of
your call's been monitored. So we cancel your call.
Which I'm not. There's an episode. It's a basically a thing called Dark Side of the Ring, which is just like dark stories of wrestling, where like there's a thing about the wrestling show in North Korea, and the guy called his wife saying like this place is a shithole, and then the call was immediately interrupted, and he was taken to like police captivity because his call was being monitored by like basically the North Korean government. So like, wow, it's probably very similar to that. Reminded me of.
Yeah, I think it's very funny that Kensuke is like allowed to exist. I guess the only reason why they haven't like thrown him into jail is because Misato reveals to Shinji, but right before he's supposed to leave, that every kid in his classroom is a potential Ava pilot.
Yes.
So class rep, there's a timeline where class rep is the Ava pilot.
The school is the institute essentially. Mm-hmm. But I was like, so did they replace class rep with Mari in the rebuilds? And that's.
I wish they would. But Mari's a whole different can of worms.
I know. I'm so excited to see that shit. That
shit sucks. Yeah, you'll be disappointed. Mari fucking sucks. But Mari fans are probably the most depraved. I cannot relate.
Anna,
to
we
Mari
love
fans.
your wife.
I honestly can't relate to Mari fans. Like no matter how hard I try.
Some species.
So.
But yeah, so
there's some really good lines in here.
Basically, he's leaving. Masato is like the only person that sees him off because Asuka's like, "Fuck that."
Yeah, Asuka literally just doesn't even show, and Shinji's like, that's like Asuka." Yeah. Like, I'm happy that she made that decision.
I don't want to see her fucking face. You just make this moment terrible.
And Misato has a really good moment with Shinji where she's like, "It was kind of fucked up that we and I put all of our hopes in the future into you. Like it was an extremely unfair position to put you in." And she doesn't even like feel bad about him going. Like he's like totally fine about leaving. Like she understands it.
Yeah, after the
she's
whole
sad,
incident.
But she understands it.
And she wasn't really there for that whole incident. Like she had no control over everything because she was taken away after the explosion happened. Mm-hmm. So like she couldn't be there to stop Gendo or like not do the dummy plug on.
Yeah, it gives her a little bit of what's the word, like distance from that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's kind of sad. And also, as like, so Misato gets in her car, she's about to leave, and she's like, "Damn, I never talked to Shinji before where he was so assertive and masculine." And it's just funny, like Shinji's totally like a different person. Like this experience like thoroughly changed him.
He was betrayed. He's betrayed and like almost murdered one of his best friends, one of like the handful that he has.
And it's really interesting. Like in this episode and the next one, another humongous bomb is dropped. Like a figurative one, not like a literal. There is a literal bomb.
Oh yeah.
But the idea that the angels are trying to get to Adam.
Yes.
Under in Central Dogma.
I mean we've been kind of led to believe that, like, it's the first time they actually say it, but like we obviously know they're trying to get to Adam when we saw it down there. That like, okay, they're obviously digging down there to get there. They're getting something from there.
Yeah, and it's just interesting to think. So that was when Shinji heard that, it was like a reveal to him. So it's funny that
don't let them touch tips.
Yeah, it's funny that Nerve would just be like, you don't know anything. Like, we're not going to tell these kids anything and just expect them to follow our orders like blindly. It's crazy. And I think like it's really biting them in the ass here because Shinji's finally standing up. I guess this is why you can't have adults be Eva pilots, because they're too smart to realize the bullshit.
That is also just two cockpits way too big for them.
It's too big or too small.
They're too big for the small cockpit. But yeah,
you have to have a supple 14-year-old body.
Supple 14. I gotta get some how about the power rating? Like overbearing and overly emotional like people, and like, they're being teenagers.
It's true, yeah. Their
teenagers' attitude.
Their emotions power the Eva.
The teenagers' attitude to pilot the Evangelions. But yeah, so basically, Shinji had to get on the train, and unfortunately, an angel attacks right when, and everything's canceled. Get to your cover.
Yeah, really good timing, Zeruel. But yeah, this angel immediately is just to fucking shit up.
It has like paper arms that are just used to like just slice stuff very easily. Eye lasers.
Yeah, its eye lasers are stronger than we've seen before.
I love its creepy mask face it has.
I love this angel. I love its weird like little super thin blades.
It's probably the one most recognizable. Probably the third most recognizable one. I would say.
Yeah, he's really recognizable. The big thing here is like, okay, Shinji's not here, so Rei get in Unit 1. Oh no, it's not working. And then they try and put the dummy plug in Unit 1. Oh no, it's rejecting. All these are being rejected. And there's one line that Gendo says when it doesn't work with Rei in there, and he's like, "This is a rejection of me." He doesn't think about like it's rejecting the pilot. It's rejecting Gendo's will. That's what he's saying.
Maybe I shouldn't have been such a fucking piece of shit
to my son.
I don't think Shinji thinks people can change.
Guys, my wife robot hates me.
Glasses, gloves, sloppy steaks. But yeah, so basically, okay, Rei's gonna get back into Unit 0 and with one arm.
Well, that was actually not even. Rei did that on her own accord.
She did on her own, okay.
So yeah, Asuka, they set Asuka up to...
They referenced many times that 01's like missing, the arm has not been reattached, and like usual, it cannot do combat.
Yeah.
But yeah, they sent Asuka up there. She has like an arsenal of guns. I think it's really cool to have her just being surrounded by weapons.
Yeah, they're all stuck in the ground, so she has to pull them out. And of course, it doesn't work.
No, Asuka jobs out. She lives the job. Yeah, even in her episode, even in the Magma Diver, she jobs out.
It's true. She does live the job. Then, so one of the coolest shots in the show, I think, there's so many in this episode that are amazing, is when she gets her head sliced off by Zeruel, the angel, and the head smashes into the safe bunker that Shinji's in.
Of course,
and
it does.
Staring at him. That visual is so cool to me, and I love like the flame wiggle because it's like super hot.
Yeah.
And then that's when Shinji makes the decision to go back.
Well, Shinji had to fucking leave the safe bunker. Not very safe when a giant head crashes through it, and conveniently just wandering around like, huh? You see the corpse in the distance of Eva 2.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's so cool. I love shots on the ground of seeing like the chaos happening above them.
It's so awesome because it's both of its arms are cut off and then the head's cut off, so it's just like kneeling. And then yeah, there's like, of course, there's all these other like lasers and shit firing at the angel like uselessly. But we have this great scene. We have the fucking watermelons are back.
God damn it,
Kaji's there. Wow. It like as the world is like going to shit, Kaji is just watering his watermelons.
Yeah, it's kind of having like another guy talk with Shinji, but at the same time alluding to like, I don't have much time left.
Yeah, he acknowledges that nerves kind of onto him. Like he's like basically been fired.
Yeah.
Essentially, so he's like, I don't have anywhere else to go right now, and I would rather be nowhere else. He does say,
"Man,
I would like to be between Misato's tits, but currently these watermelons are where I want to be.
These
right now."
melons, though.
Yeah. The substitute melons. And then he kind of does is real to Shinji. He's like, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but you are the one that has to make this choice. You are the one with the power here.
Don't let people. Not gonna let anybody else decide this. You do it. You make the choice.
And then while they're talking, Ray appears in Unit 0, like a fucking football.
Yeah,
with
like
running with
player.
a nuke and N2 mine. And of course that doesn't work.
She tried to punch it through the AT field and then self-detonate it. Yeah, it doesn't work, obviously. She's fine, though.
She is fine.
Somehow.
I have a figure of this scene from the movie.
Okay.
Because they do a similar scene in the movie. But instead of an N2 mine, she has like a huge fucking like rocket that's like as big as she is. So that figure has like the rocket that she holds.
The cooler version of that.
It's really fucking cool.
But Shinji... I was telling Jen, like, because Shinji got back in there because that one episode they snuck into the base via the vent, so that's how Shinji can get back in. Because Shinji's basically been like his record wiped off of it.
That's right. Sure. Yeah, they do say that they remove all, so he probably
or maybe they did, or they probably were.
There's probably enough holes in the base that he just walked through.
Or they were too busy with other bullshit.
One thing we did skip over that we already talked about though is Kaji does tell Shinji about Adam. He says,
"Yes,
the angels are really trying to get to Adam. It will all be over
if they touch tips.
If they touch tips, it'll be over."
We got another Attack on Titan incident.
I was gonna say, wait, what was the touching tips from? And it was, it's from Eren and Zeke touching tips inside their brain.
Yes,
in the paths.
So do not let the angels touch tips, or the third impact will happen.
Yeah. So then, Shinji runs in and he's like, "Father, let me into the Eva."
"Father, you old bitch, get me out of the back. I'm the only one that can do it." And he's like, "Fuck." Also, when Ray nuked, you see like Gendo react heavily.
Yeah, he's like, "Ray,
no, stop being suicidal, please."
Yeah.
Stop doing this. Like, let me be. So, even though he tends to be the one to send her into like murder or get murdered,
she did it on her own accord.
Yeah, to get her murdered. But yeah, how dare you do
it's
it on your own accord?
When I tell you to kill yourself. But so he
also a lot of it's just like a lot of lines just like, is everything going according to your plan, Gendo, right now? Like a lot of stuff like that.
It's every fucking episode is Gendo's winning.
Except when Ray blows herself out, that's not going to his plan at all.
Yeah, well, he's not. I guess he's not too worried about it in the grand scheme of things.
Well, yeah, sure.
But we have an awesome scene. So, like, one thing I love is when you have an area that is not supposed to have like combat in it, but it has combat.
Because the angel makes like, it's very similar to that spider angel that made the hole in the ground.
Yeah.
So very similar to that, but like it's just a wider hole. It gets into, I guess, the water, or it gets to where the Ava's test, I guess.
Yeah, well, so the shot that I'm talking about is when it actually breaks into like the command center where Misato and then Shinji
punches through like the wall.
Yeah, punches the other wall and then has an epic fight. Shinji is like a real like hero moment where he's like fucking it up.
I love
awesome.
I love the plan of getting him to the launch pad and launching him up and then scraping its face like against like the rock. Yeah, that's so cool. It's some really cool mech shit in there.
Also, an incredible shot where it shoots like a laser beam that slices Unit 1's hand off, and it crashes next to Gendo and like sprays half his body in blood, and he's just standing there like a badass.
Gendo just loves being splattered by like...
He's totally unaffected.
Just blood. I've been dousing Ava blood like nonstop.
It's so awesome though. That shot is so fucking cool.
It's awesome. And the Ava suit, it's probably the quickest I've ever seen an Ava run out of power though.
It does run out really quickly.
Very much like Ultraman, where like it just the beep would just start going off like so quick, when the plot needs it to.
Sometimes it's like as soon as Ultraman like transforms, it starts beeping. It's like, dude,
you did one judo flip and you have to like go off already.
But yeah, and then of course the like
it runs out.
Anticlimax is the power runs out. Like we don't even realize they don't even like show it. Like as you said, it feels really sudden and abrupt.
Yes,
and Shinji has like an incredibly like deep moment.
He's trying to do a thing like flicking the power button off and on until like goes back on. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's like that episode of Breaking Bad when they're out in the desert and the RV won't turn on.
Sure.
And Jesse's like, Mr. White, let me turn the trigger.
Evangelion, but it's Walter White.
Oh, I have memes to send you. Once we finish
God.
the first movie, I can send you the memes. But they Shinji freaks out and he's like, I need to save the world, as the angel's about to, like, so the angel rips his chest open and we see that there's a core. The Eva has a core very similar to the angel's.
Yes.
And it starts like hitting it like a cat would hit.
So
like a toy.
It also like loses arm before or after.
It lost it that's when Gendo got the blood splatter on him.
So it goes up there and like, so it's gonna go for like another, like, 'cause it's trying to like rip to the core that we see when it rips it apart, and
it's like shattering.
Yes, and it's trying to go for the last hack, and then when it wakes up, it goes. And I love the scene of like the hand going through. I don't know what to call it, like the curtain.
It's like a blade.
The blade, the curtain blade arm, and he goes through it and he like slashes it with his own hand. And like rips it off essentially, and then just grafts it onto its own arm and makes a human arm.
Yeah,
like
it like forces it to become its own. It's such a cool scene. And then I love like when they just wave away, like, this powerful angel was destroying the world, and now this berserk unit 1 is so strong. All it does to win is it basically just like moves its hand to shoot an AT field, and it just like destroys him.
And it does, like, I think they did like a 400% like sync rate. I think it was, and it just rips them apart, starts eating them.
Yeah, the animation for when it starts going berserk and crawling on all fours, it's like incredible.
I love being like an uncontrollable monster transformation where all you can really see is just the eyes glowing. You get close up what the eyes actually look like really big beady, but like from a distance you just see like in the night, like the night sky, just the eyes light up.
Yeah,
like there are only a couple of transformations that actually do that, like that. I guess. I say the uncontrollable transformation, I guess, is the name. Like transformation, the user doesn't really have.
It's called Gohan Beast, Sam.
No, it's called like maybe the Gon's transformation, or like or like Naruto's early Tails mode where you couldn't control half of those. But like I'm thinking it's like something like that. But I love that. I love that, just having the eyes be the face blacked out essentially. Like
it's haunting.
It's something transformed that you can't. You should. It's probably trying to hide itself, but you don't want to see like. The beast or like whatever, like I guess can't really comprehend like the humans.
Yeah, it's like it's
incomprehensible. Like
to me, it's definitely animated extremely animalistically. It almost feels like you're looking at like a wild animal eating its prey. The way that it there's one shot that I think is incredible where it like turns its head to the camera and it blinks really quickly and then it gets back into eating.
And even
it's like animated impeccably.
And even like the design of it in the next episode where you see like the bandages, it's like medical bandages around his face, and it's just like the eyes are just still that big
just
circular
massive,
round. It's very horror.
Yeah.
Like just like it looks like it's like this is something that's not human and not like alien. It's just like
this horrifying like
weird homunculus.
Yeah, honestly, a homunculus.
Yes.
Like no one ever says that. But that especially the next up, that image of like the bandaged like armorless Eva is like one of my favorite images from the series. It's so creepy, and like that scene at the end where like it goes berserk and it's just haunting. I love that scene so much. The big thing too is like everybody runs outside because all the monitors are broken, so they have to run outside to see what's happening.
One of the tech people had to be on monitor via laptop.
Yeah, and
very early laptop.
They this would have been 2016.
I know, but the 90s 2016 was just like the big bulky laptop from the 90s.
But she Ritsuko has a line where she says, "Oh, it's eating the angel. It's trying to incorporate its S2 engine into itself." Yeah. Which this becomes a very big thing in the next episode. Yes. Because we don't really know. They mentioned the S2 engine in the last arc with Toji's Eva. How in America they were experimenting with one, but we don't really know too much more.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
And that's kind of how that one ends. It's really like this kind of horrifying boundary's been crossed. Gendo is extremely okay with this, as usual.
This is great.
I am into this for some unknown reason.
But yeah, so that's episode. So I guess did it run out of power, or did it just like shut down?
It's a little unclear. So that's always kind of been my question. The next episode I presumably it kind of stopped. I would assume that it just stopped because it didn't have any reason to keep going.
Yeah.
So yeah, they bring it back into HQ. They actually need to like move their headquarters to like an identical looking command room, but it's older. And they talk about how like it's different in every way, but it looks identical.
And maybe there's not much protection from when stuff goes berserk for them to get punched, I would guess as well.
Yeah.
Which makes like what they're doing probably dangerous because of like
they're just standing like right in front of it. Like there's no glass or anything.
And how many times have we seen different Eva units try to punch them?
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically Shinji's gone.
Yeah,
Shinji has ascended into the void.
Yeah, they say that Shinji's like totally gone. The chemical composition of the LCL inside his little tube has changed. So they
figured out what happened though pretty easily though.
Yeah, they ultimately they make a plan where they're like, all right, we need to like rebuild Shinji's body and then grab his crazy mental psyche and put it back in there.
You mean the shattered mental psyche of Shinji via multiple. Also, each day is going by of like.
Yeah, it says like day 1, day 2.
But Masato very much wants to get him out though.
Yeah,
like she is dead set of saving Shinji, where like everybody else probably wants to get salvage the only pilot left to be able to do this.
Yeah, I have to say it because I love when they come up with these fake terms. They said that every other Eva is past the Halic limit, which means that, I guess, through context clues, I would assume the Halic limit is the amount of damage an Eva can take before it becomes inoperable. So they need to basically like totally redo all the Evas.
Yeah.
I want to see if anyone's written a Wikipedia article about it.
Yeah, so we obviously like
the Hayflick limit, sorry.
Like, you know, the Shinji being like the syncing up and like I guess, you know, because of like that maybe because he hates his father so much that like rejecting him. I wonder like what the fuck is Asuka's mech like only able to be powered by her? Like I wonder why she's the only like
interesting.
I'm trying to think of like a possible reason why we haven't really had an Asuka episode.
Asuka's kind of been like a background character. It's funny because she comes in and she steals the show, and then she like makes way for Shinji and Rei to get back in.
Maybe because of her mommy daddy issues that like locks. It's like an Ava lock where you're just locked in. If you have like parental issues, you're just stuck in it. That's the only thing I can think of.
All right, I looked it up. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
The Hayflick limit is a real thing. It is the number of times a normal somatic differentiated human cell population will divide before cell division stops.
Okay.
So I guess that just means the Evas wouldn't be able to regenerate from their current level of damage. That would be what I would assume they are talking about here. But who fucking knows? They don't explain this shit.
Yeah. Who cares? Jim, you got to play the N64 game to get that lore.
The Hayflick limit is an Eva. So it's the maximum damage beyond which...
It's a literal health bar gimmick of a video game.
Yeah, it literally is. It literally is.
So, but yeah. So the plan throughout the day is to get Shinji out. There's a couple... Cuts a lot to other characters, like Asuka being jealous of Shinji through that entire thing of like, what do you have to show off and like save the day kind of thing, like
so what
it cuts around a lot.
Yeah, what I love here is so we learn that Rei's okay. Rei wakes up in her hospital bed.
Not again.
And then so we cut to like Asuka gets a call from Misato saying Rei's alive. And Asuka is angry. Asuka is literally mad. She's like, I don't give a shit about that girl. Why would you fucking call me about this? Asuka, and then
immediately bitches about Shinji like being a hero.
And then it goes right back to her insecurities.
How do people like Asuka so much?
I have to say, on this rewatch, I am thoroughly liking Asuka a lot.
Maybe you know more where her story ends off, but I have like no reasons to really. I liked her in her intro, like not being immediately trying to, you know, not the tsundere thing to Shinji right away, but then immediately just became like the most hostile.
She's not even a tsundere. She's just an aggressive person.
Yeah, she became the.
She doesn't like Shinji.
She has become what I hate the most, Jim.
A Nagatoro type.
You got it.
What if Nagatoro and Asuka were in the same room?
Jim, there's probably art of Nagatoro in Asuka's outfit. I would bet if you Google that right now, and you're just gonna be an asshole and make that the fucking thumbnail.
I'll have to remember.
But no, yeah, I
do want to.
She has not become like likable. Like she has done nothing but make me hate her. I'm not sure that's supposed to be the point of everything.
I do want to say. Oh wait, hold on. I'm showing Sam a picture of.
Did you make that?
No, it's a death battle between Asuka and Nagatoro. Also, the literal first image is what you're saying. It is sexy Nagatoro in Asuka's suit. So I'm sorry, I just had to stop for that.
But you have to see my discomfort character.
Yeah, but so I do want to say from the perspective, I guess we haven't finished it, so you don't really know everything about.
Yeah,
Asuka.
I guess that's what I said. I was like, you probably know the ending of her character, at least in this show, not the rebuilds, but like.
But from a perspective of like what we've seen, I like Asuka and the fact that she's extremely complicated.
Yeah, and I said we still haven't got any, like we only had like, very early on we had the tease of like I guess the mommy daddy issues.
Yeah,
and we haven't got much that, and other than her being jealous of Masato banging her husbando.
But I think she's not likable. She certainly isn't likable.
Hell no.
Which doesn't make her a bad character. I think that she's
like I said,
really complicated. She has a lot like bubbling underneath the surface.
Yeah, like I said, I haven't seen the end of her character arc. So I can't put my judgment. This is how I feel like so far, and obviously is the point, or they wouldn't make a character so unlikable. Coming from Anna, there's like it has to be an end goal with her.
I just think it is really funny to think about people who are like Asuka, Team Asuka stans.
And then like I know like there's the one major thing that with Asuka that I've seen before, because I think you showed me this clip in like multiple dub and sub version of like the mass production part.
Oh, okay.
Like you show me, that's
like the most epicest fight.
You showed me that before, like before I even like cared about Ava, because like you check out the voice acting of this part and like check out the fucking action of this part. It's crazy.
It's great.
It's crazy. Unfortunately, that's one of the things I know about because I've seen it so much. But probably also it's just an iconic, probably one of the iconic things. But
it is one of the and it's funny because I actually had it overhyped for me when I ended up watching it.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, that fight scene was cool, and then people were like, what? And then I grew to appreciate it more later, but.
But yeah, so basically, Ray wakes up. Asuka's being a bitch still.
Classic Asuka. just last words on Asuka. I just think she's a really, really interesting portrayal of like a teenage character going through a heavy amount of trauma, where they don't try and like they don't try and justify her behavior. She just behaves this way.
Yeah.
And we'll just see where that takes us.
She's being a teenager.
Yeah.
But yes, and. Before we honestly get to the Shinji extraction experiment, like there's a lot of basically between the day like 3 and 31.
Yeah, it jumps from day 3 to day 30.
There's Shinji going in the bubble void, like going through like crisis.
Yeah. So one thing I think is really cool about him, like he's kind of basically having a conversation with himself. But maybe, there's like could there be like another
something in the form of Ray that's like maybe something like his mother?
Yeah, like it seems like there's another entity he's communicating with. Last time it was like, is he talking about the angel?
And it's very heavily.
But this one, it's like no, clearly it's another like.
And by
person.
Halfway, you kind of get it's his mother.
Yeah, that's kind of the big reveal. We even get like just a lot of like really
there's a lot of stuff
small like depictions of her. The show is really afraid to show her early.
Yes.
Like this early, which I love. I love that like mystery. Like we see the shot later. Because eventually when he realizes it's his mom, he's like, the smell of a mother. And he kind of has like a weird fragment of a memory of when he was being like breastfed by her.
His first memory is
his first memory. But I love that like it's just a very simple like charcoal illustration. And it has like such a nice, serene element to it. And there's like a conversation between Gendo and his mom, which I think we know her name,
yes.
Yui.
Yes,
we do.
We've seen her gravestone.
That's right. And yeah, basically they're kind of talking about like about like child rearing and everything, and like like the kind of ideal world that you'd want to live in, and it's and also we get a little drop about if. Gendo says, if it's a boy, we'll name him Shinji. If it's a girl, we'll name her Rei.
Ooh.
It's like, whoa.
Also, Gendo is like, might be outed out at Nerve by the Illuminati Council.
Oh, yeah, that's actually the very beginning. Yeah.
Yes.
Seele has a whole meeting where they're like, this Gendo guy, he just has no fucking control. We have no control over him.
No good Gendo. You gotta get him out. It cost us
Don't give him his jacket.
Don't give him a jacket. Throw him out in the cold. He cost us like literal like thousands, like millions of dollars and time.
Billions of
dollars and time. Just gone now. Like all the Avas are fucked.
Yeah, hopefully they won't have an attack. Like, thank God they didn't get attacked in that month of time.
Oh, I know, which is weird. But yeah, so that happened. Shinji, like I said, that's another major thing they're cutting towards. And
so yeah, kind of outside, they end up having the plan that they come up with is something that Misato's like, "Wow, Ritsuko, you put this together already?" She's like, "No, this was actually created about 10 years ago."
Yes, they reference like an incident that happened similar. And I'm assuming that's the experiment that happened. I think I predicted where like his mom would be like absorbed inside, or the same thing happened with Shinji, but she didn't come out. That's why there's like no body. There's like no picture. I don't know. Well, Gendo's probably Gendo's choice for no picture of it.
Yeah, that's like the big thing is he doesn't like having like pictures of her.
But a lot of things, like basically a lot of his talks are like to Rei essentially to be like the surrogate person he's talking, his therapist essentially, the former Rei, like not liking his father.
Even child Rei, we see little baby Rei for a second.
We see child Shinji as well.
We do see child Shinji again.
Child Rei. We see
I love baby Rei. She's so cute.
It's funny, but yeah. So there's a lot of like.
It's really they go into like everything with Shinji. It's all about his feelings towards his father. How he.
Do you hate your father?
Yeah, he also goes through his like kind of weird relationship with all the women in his life, and
he has a weird like, who do you want to fuck, Shinji?
Yeah, basically
these nippleless women. Which nippleless woman do you want to fuck?
Yeah, they all. I don't know.
Misato, you want Asuka, who you have no reason you have no reason to be attracted to other than her like fucking like weird flirting, like she with the curse, like the kiss moment.
But then she immediately like nagged him after that.
Yeah.
So yeah, essentially all the women.
The woman you kissed, the woman you touched a boob up, or the naked woman you probably seen drunkenly naked stumble into your room at one point.
Have to keep putting her pants back on her because she's always naked.
Or with a force option, pen.
So he sees Misato, Asuka, and Rei in that order, and they all have a very similar line, but it's kind of. It's more like the way they.
Do you want to become
Shinji,
one with me? Like...
Yeah, they both say like, oh, it feels really good, like. Shinji-kun, Asuka even calls him like Baka Shinji, like it's all like very personal.
It's like, do you take the Nagatora pill? Do you take like the
red pill or blue pill?
I think the Megamine pill of like the girl that always ends up damaged after she does her attack. Or do you take? I don't know. What's a Misato pill?
It's a shot of whiskey.
The shot of whiskey.
Shot of bourbon.
I like. Is there any character like the drunken like adult woman? That you take.
That's certainly like I feel like that was a 90s anime.
Yeah.
It was like before they were before
I guess,
all these guys were into MILFs, that
like,
was the kind of woman they were into.
Black Bullet? I always think of like that chick from who's just like
Black Lagoon.
Black Lagoon, that's it. Yeah, I always think of her like the adult woman with like the tattoos and like
even what's it called? Gunsmith Cats. There's a little bit of that with the main girl. The other girl is supposed to be like 16 though, so
yeah.
Not quite the same. But yeah.
But yeah, so basically they do the experiment at the same time. Also Shinji's fucking suit is just floating in the tube, by the way, which is really funny.
I like that. That's a funny detail.
And yeah, the experiment. Anything else you want to talk about in that extension, or do we just talk about the extraction? I'm not sure you had any notes on there.
I didn't really. Yeah, no. That it's really like.
We get a lot of
kind of. Shinji kind of recontextualizing
a lot of seizure
one thing I do want to say. Oh yeah, because he kind of goes through like what's happened so far.
Oh my eyes hurt so much to that sequence because like I can't really do like the light flashes too much. Like it gives me a headache after like a bit of those.
They flash like a white screen after each image, so it is really hard to. It's hard to read it too.
Every person, every angel.
Yeah, but the one thing that I really like, because this is Shinji essentially kind of having like an internal monologue. But when he's having a conversation with someone, it's at a previous place that he was with them. So they cut back to last episode where he and Misato were he's about to leave on the train, and then other times where like they're in like the control room or whatever. Yeah. I think it's just really clever how Shinji's brain is like taking these other interactions he's had before and working through them into like a new sort of like
his
situation.
mind palace.
In his mind palace, yeah.
Literal mind palace.
And it also it doubles because you can just reuse that animation. You just reuse those animations.
There's a lot of reuse animation in this. We got one naked waifu thrusting animation, and we're just gonna like just do that like 10 times under dialogue.
It is really funny that they don't draw nipples, at least on Misato.
And then we see, I was like, oh, maybe because Shinji hasn't ever seen it, doesn't know what nipples are. He's not gonna put them in his psyche, even though he remembers his breastfeeding.
Shinji doesn't know what nipples are despite having
even
them.
though he remembers breastfeeding off his mother.
It's true, he does have that. That's a key memory for him.
Important memory. But yeah, so the experiment happened, or I guess the extraction happened. It kind of goes wrong. It fucks
up. Ritsuko is like, we failed. Like this is Shinji's gone.
And then like just the suit just
because the
suit pukes out.
The entry plug actually opens up and all the Shinji goo gets on the ground.
The primordial Shinji ooze.
Yeah. And Misato runs over crying, clutching his suit like, Shinji, how could this happen? Like it's really sad.
The only person that would fucking mourn him is Misato. Like no one else really showed any emotion towards Shinji potentially being lost. Like he was
like arguing with all the people last episode too. Like that was, I think, the only time they've ever talked is Shinji like yelling at all of them.
Yeah, and then she cries out, and then you just hear like the puking noise, and Shinji just pukes out naked
out of the S2 engine.
Yes,
he comes out, not out of the cockpit, out of the S2 engine.
Very kind of similar to how the Eva came out of that one Shadow of the Angel kind of thing, where he just comes out of the giant circle. But this time it's a human form. But yeah, so also, I guess in the meantime to all this, they also mentioned that the Evas are just cloned humans, essentially. I guess cloned homunculus, essentially.
Yeah, like because Misato brings up like, what did you guys clone from Antarctica? Like this is
what did you do?
What did you guys fucking do?
So that's basically what they are. Why like also it wasn't like armor plating. It was restraints.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which it break in the end of the last episode.
It flexes them off, or most of it off. That's why I had the human hand. It's kind of fucking wild looking. Like
that imagery is really cool.
So yeah, Shinji comes out like Masato's like super, I guess, relieved that happened, because immediately after like Shinji's revealed to be okay, she goes off and goes have a fuck session. So, yeah, they have their full fuck session again. I love the camera, just like, you see a little bit of it, but like, it mostly just like focuses on like the whiskey, the cigarettes, and the condom wrapper.
I really like this scene, because like, the minute that Misato knows that Shinji's fine, she's like, all right, time to fuck Kaji. And then Ritsuko's even like, damn, girl, like you're fucking, the second you found out Shinji's not dead, you're getting fucking laid.
And then she gets laid, but like Kaji's like about to doubt her, like, I'm gonna die, I don't have much time left, whatever, take this pill up your vagina.
Yeah, I like how intimate that scene is, where it's you just hear like Misato sex noises for like 30 seconds.
I was like, I'd be so funny in the window, like lightning strikes. You see like Asuka out there, like the rain, sad, watching them fuck. Her Joker origins complete.
But yeah, he gives Misato some sort of pill.
But he didn't. He puts it back on the counter or desk, I guess.
Because she makes a joke about like, hey, watch what you're sticking in there.
You can't stick anything in there.
Yeah, really funny. I do like the detail of the condom wrapper. That is such like a specific thing that you would not think about including.
Hey everybody, I'm Otto. I support safe sex. Even get your Asuka brand condoms.
You don't want to have a kid like Asuka, so use condoms.
You want Asuka right, so we put Shinji face. You don't want any of these damn kids.
Oh my god!
Does it exist? Do you think? Yes or no?
There must be Ava condoms. There must be. I do want to say the whole idea of putting like that to deter people over in Europe, at least in some countries, they actually on like cigarette boxes they put like disgusting like real photos of like body parts and like organs that are affected by smoking. Hilarious. So like you buy your cigarettes and it has like do not smoke written in German, and then it's like lungs that look deflated and gross.
It's so much better than like the American stuff. It's just like commercials where like in the early 2000s there used to be a bunch of anti-smoking commercials, and I'm pretty sure most of them are paid by the smoking corporations.
Oh yeah, they're all
but now it's all about the anti-vape stuff. So I get ads. There's some YouTube ads I would get on my phone. It'd just be like, vaping has guided me towards destruction. like, I couldn't concentrate in school.
Guided me towards
It's the first line. I crack up everything.
That sounds powerful. Like, I'll start vaping. It turns me into like a destruction god.
It's like in the format of like those in middle school and high school where you got those like anti-drinking smoking like videos that play like simple plans like to be heard, to be lost, playing like while the kids like moping like during the distance of like someone they know like dying. It's like it's so funny. It reminded me of those, but yeah, very much just have an Evangelion version of that.
Damn, what if they made an Eva vape? Do you think that would?
I feel like that's such it probably exists, but not officially. It's not official, but but the millions of vape stores probably has like
Unit 1 vape.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm not sure how vape is a thing in Japan at all.
Okay, I don't know if these.
I know smoking's still a huge thing in Japan, but I'm not sure if vaping took a hold in Japan at all. I can see it maybe.
I don't know. That's really interesting. Yeah, you'd think that like. I really don't know if vaping. Oh my god,
vaping has just guided me towards destruction, man.
So these are jokes. These are joke condoms. But
condoms.
People have made fake.
By joke condoms, they just like break.
People have made fake like concepts for like Evangelion condoms.
I haven't gotten to that character yet. God damn it.
yeah, we haven't seen Karu yet.
God damn it.
I think you'll be surprised when he shows up.
He doesn't. He always shows up in the movie.
I really love the idea of Evangelion condoms.
Just love the idea. It's the Evangelion morning after pill, Jim. Masato like smiling.
Oh my god, wait, I think they're real.
Oh, are they? We have to do an episode.
Oh my god, I think there are actually Evangelion condoms. The image is kind of blurry. This is for the movie. You can tell
this boy still has not been in this show, and he's like all over the merchandising. If it for Evangelion or for the rebuilds?
No, it's for the rebuilds. You can tell by the character design.
Fucking Mari's not on this marketing.
That's crazy, actually. If anyone would use a condom, it would be Mari. She'd use a female condom. That is really funny that she's not on here. I'm actually kind of surprised.
They have to even out the chicken dick ratio for sex, Jim. 2 guys, 2 girls are on it.
I don't see the Karu box. It's
sold out. It's the best selling.
I would totally get
what Evangelion brand condoms are you buying?
I would get the Ray condoms.
I would always buy the Masato brand ones.
No, it has to be one of the pilots.
It'd be the boy I have no context for. And apparently the bestseller.
The best.
One of them like the Trojan, like the Trojan extra large one for like the thin brand. It's all like the different varieties like Trojan condoms. But do you think the condoms are colored to their mechs? To their Avas?
They have like the nerve design on it.
They taste like the water they like sit in when they're in the pilot seat.
The LCL.
It's like seawater.
Yeah, I hate this. All right, we're done. We're done talking about
when we start diving into the world of merchandising of Evangelion, Jim, we're gonna like fall into this hole.
Damn, I'm looking at these Eva figures now, and I'm like, I would like to have a Ray figure.
I need to get a figure for actually to commemorate this, but like I'm also tempted to buy like a model kit of one of them.
I know that people are always like Place Japan, but I would love to go into a 7-Eleven and just see like a humongous Asuka like sticker on one of like the glass doors. I would pog if I saw
like
that.
Hourly or daily like Asuka Ray Twitter pages. They just have so much content that you're never gonna see a repeat of those for how much merchandising and like
it's absolutely insane.
That's so.
It's insane that Ava was like the merchandising anime.
I'm tempted to just like go on eBay and like look for like weird like some weird Ava
Ray condom.
Gotta get just a pack of condoms for the boys.
All right.
Oh, and that's
the episode.
I'm pretty sure it ends with just like them fucking and putting the pill down, and him saying like I don't have much time left. Also, he also shows up at Gendo's desk at one point where he just like, hey, everything's kind of going shitty now, isn't it, Gendo?
It's really funny because normally people don't fuck with Gendo that much, but Kaji is like, he's kind of
literally poking the bear. He's literally poking the bear.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't seen, like, we know they're like a secret organization, but like, we haven't seen them like silence anybody. Like they basically say like, Shinji, you're gonna get like, you're gonna be able to have much leeway in the real world anymore. You have so many restrictions now. Like, and seeing them like cut off like the phone line. Like we kind of see how much like I said, like kind of like North Korea kind of thing they got of like.
Well, yeah, they even mentioned before the Magi's control the election, so I wouldn't be surprised if the Magi monitored the call and disconnected.
It's very much reminding for what the thing I saw about North Korea with the wrestling show, just like how much control you really have, despite being like a visitor. You really are just to the mercy of them.
Yeah, no, it's just not a good idea to do. There's a TikTok account that I watched a million videos of. It's I believe a Chinese woman that lives in a town right on the border of North Korea, and very interesting. She was filming a lot of like scenes from over there. I don't know if they can go over or
is it like a Berlin Wall kind of thing where you can kind of see like over there.
You can see like it's literally there's a river that cuts through, so you can see over. And she was pointing out like in North Korea, like they have like in places where they live in like high rises or like apartment complexes, you can see that people like because they don't have enough energy for electricity at night, so some people have solar panels they put out on their window. This is like a wealthy family thing. You put a solar panel on your window so then at night you can have a light, because not everyone can have a light at night.
Fucking nightmare.
And it's just crazy. Like food is rationed to a crazy extent. Like everyone is extremely malnourished, or they have to work extremely hard for their food. It's crazy. It's like really insane to get that.
You gotta feed that fat man. you gotta pork him up more.
Pork him up. It's really upsetting. It's very sad to me. All of the
sucks,
conditions
man.
that those people have to live in.
But yeah, I think very good episodes. I know
Ava's just really fucking good.
Like
Ava's like the Breaking Bad of anime.
That I'm on the box. That's gonna be right on the DVD cover.
Yeah, they put that. Yeah, Raves Jim JOKAKAKA.
Is the rebuilds a Better Call Saul?
No. The rebuilds aren't good. The rebuilds are the El Camino.
Shin Godzilla is the Better Call Saul.
No, well, actually, I haven't seen all of Better Call Saul yet.
But I like it a lot. Super good. Like I said, I'm pretty sure the Shinji's mother thing, I think some of those predictions are being more and more solid.
Yeah. I think that's like a real gimme at this point.
Yes.
Like I won't even pretend like obviously, yeah.
Like we just talked earlier, I don't know what to do with Kaji or Toji. I mean, sorry.
Toji, yeah.
Toji. Like I said, killing them all probably would have been
too traumatic for Shinji.
Too traumatic, but also just make everybody hate. Like 90% of the cast already now hate him even more.
Mm-hmm.
Like. I don't know what you do with him. We still have the mysterious Shinji's gay lover that I seen before that still has to appear.
We'll see him soon. Damn, we're like almost at the end.
I feel like Ray still has more. Like she still is like due like a heart to heart with Shinji, I guess. And Asuka still needs to have her character arc, I guess, conclude with her backstory, I guess. Like there's a lot of issues still need to be solved with like the pilots because. Yeah, there's not much. Yeah, there's just still a lot of things still to go. I don't know where End of Evangelion is gonna take off or pick off at.
Oh shit! I just realized there are director's cut episodes.
Are there?
That we're not getting, but it's okay because they add like a combined 3 minutes to the whole series.
If you just have a summary of them, that's fine.
I think it is just like lore shit for nerds.
Yeah.
I'll look it up soon, but
it's worth it.
So we currently are on episode 21. That's our next one, which is a fantastic one. I've been so excited for this one.
Magma Diver 2.
And then it's just great. Like the fucking hits keep coming. So we have basically 6 episodes left? No, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we have 6 episodes left. It's crazy. I can't wait to watch the next one. I love that episode. It's called The Birth of Nerve.
Oh, interesting.
It's one of those episodes where you're just like punching the pillow in front of you. Like, yes, I want to see this. Yes, give me more.
Young Gendo just be Gendo without a beard.
I just gave Sam a look. So yeah.
How do you show a de-aged if you take away the facial hair?
It's true. Make him look like Shinji.
Probably show maybe a little bit more of the second impact, or probably the origins, because that has to do with it as well. And then the experiment maybe having to do with his mother. Who knows?
We'll see.
Another 2 episodes. We're gonna. I guess 2.
I think we'll do 2 and then 2 and then 2.
Okay.
We have to do the last 2 as 1 because it's going to be too much.
Okay. Too much. All right, that sounds good to me.
And then we'll do the movie.
And then the end of Evangelion, and then who knows? Maybe take a break.
And do the rebuilds. If anything, I really do like. There's merit to watching 2 and onwards. Like the first one, we can skip it. We could skip it. It's pretty, but we can skip it.
Okay. And
we'll just watch the Ramiel fight.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. And then an after credit scene or something in.
Yes. Oh, I have to show you the after credit. Oh my god, that's one of the memes I want to send you is related to that.
Okay. So
you need to see it so you can see the funny Better Call Saul meme that I'm going to send you.
Great. Great, wonderful.
I did save it to my phone.
So what am I plugging up?
The S2 engine. Or plug up Shinji's empty plug suit.
Oh god, I don't want to do that. Thank you all so much for listening to the fucking condom talk we just had.
Condom talk. It's like root beer talk.
Evangelion condom talk. Thank you so much. Again, you put some comments about which Evangelion brand character condom you would buy.
Yeah, which condom would you buy?
You can like the video, subscribe if you haven't. You can follow the podcast on Twitter or be a Jim separately. You can also join the Discord, and that's about everything. And we'll see you next time. We don't have much left for this, so.
I know it's getting. We have 3 more episodes and then the movie, so 4 more episodes.
I feel like this is taking so much more time that with Attack on Titan, even though I'm pretty sure we watched way more Attack on Titan because that fucking flew by.
Yeah, it's crazy. Attack on Titan is written in such an addictive way. Like you just want to keep watching it. With Ava, it's like you kind of want to sit back and like digest what you've seen a bit.
Yeah, but I'm excited. I can't wait. So in that, we'll see you next
week
with the birth of Nerve.
The birth of a nerve.
Bye.